In this lesson, we will start our fall transformation by giving the shot a more golden hue using a matte and an adjustment layer. So we have this beautiful springtime scene. The camera is panning past green grass and green trees, and we're going to change this to a fall scene, starting off by adjusting the green to be a more golden hue. Before we do any color adjustments, let's make sure the project settings are set to linear color space. That's going to give us a much more realistic result as we adjust the colors. So just go up to File and select Project Settings. It's off the window, but it's at the bottom of the menu. And just make sure you have the working space set to sRGB and you have linearized working space turned on. Now, if you want to learn more about linear workflow in After Effects, you can check out my course in this subject, Linear Workflow in After Effects. But for now, this is how to change the project settings. Click OK to accept. So now to make these color adjustments, we're going to make a matte first. So select the footage and hit Control D to duplicate it. And then you're going to want to hit Enter, and we'll rename this Matte Golden Hue. Now to create this matte, we're going to use the key light effect. Usually you use key light to key out green screens and blue screens, but we're going to use it to key the green grass and the green trees. So to select key light, just go up to Effects and go down to Keying, and then the submenu that's off the screen right now, go towards the bottom and select key light. The first step using key light is you want to pick a screen color. And we're going to use the layer window to pick our screen color, because that way we can see the scene and see the matte that's being created at the same time. So to open up the layer window, just double click on the matte golden hue and open up the layer window. And then you're going to want to go to key light and set the view from final result to screen matte. And that way you're going to see the matte that's being created. Right now it's blank because we haven't made the matte yet. Now in the layer window, we're going to want to see the original scene. So just move the window over a little bit so you can see the view menu, and you're going to want to set that view to none. That way you can see the original scene. So let's zoom out to 200% so we can see some more of this scene. And we're going to pan over here. And now if we select our screen color, we select the eyedropper, and you want to hold down the Alt key on Windows, Option key in a Mac, and as we move this eyedropper around, we're seeing in the other window the matte that we're going to create, depending on which color we pick. And we can see all of these different shades of green, which one is going to make the best matte for us. We want something that's not going to be too dark and not going to be too light. Somewhere in between the two is what we're looking for. This looks pretty good right there. So now we can adjust this matte a little bit, make it a little bit more contrasty so we can see some more of the sky. We can do that clicking on the screen matte submenu, and then we're just going to increase the clip black just a bit to about 26. So that's giving us the kind of matte we want, maybe a little bit less. So now we have our matte. We can close our layer window and turn off its visibility for now. And to adjust the color, we're going to need an adjustment layer. So go up to Layer and select New and Adjustment Layer. We'll move this under the matte golden hue and hit Enter, and we'll rename this Golden Hue ADJ for Adjustment Layer. Don't need to see the layer window. So now with this adjustment layer, the effect we're going to use is Hue Saturation to adjust the color here. So go up, with it selected, go up to Effects, go under Color Correction, and select Hue Saturation. It's towards the bottom of the submenu. It's off screen right now. And now we're just going to adjust the master control right now. This adjusts all the color in the scene. And we're going to change the master hue to -17. So that's adjusting the color, all the colors in the scene, to be more reddish. And we're also going to increase the saturation to 39. So that's giving us a nice view, but it's giving us way too much. It's because we're not using the matte. It's affecting the tree trunks and the sky as well as the leaves. So to use the matte, select Golden Hue Adjustment Layer, click on Toggle Switches and Modes, and under Track Matte, you're going to want to set this to Luma Inverted Matte. So now it's using the matte, and it's only affecting the green areas of the scene. So that looks pretty good. We're coming along. We want to take a little bit more of the green out of this grass and the trees, make it a little bit less green looking. So let's add another hue saturation effect to this adjustment layer. So with it selected, go up to Effects, back under Color Correction, and select Hue Saturation again. So in the second hue saturation effect, we're just going to affect the green channel. So change the channel control from master to greens. So now it's only going to affect the areas specified in this channel range. So let's adjust the green now to be quite a bit redder, to -45. And it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. That's because we need to adjust the channel range to affect more of the scene, more of the green in the scene. Now if you bring these layer bars out, it's going to give us a better result and look more reddish looking. Then we just have to adjust the saturation a bit. Let's adjust that to 39 to give it a little more saturation. That's giving us a pretty nice result. You can see it's taking a lot of the green out. But when we do that, it's making the grass look quite a bit too patchy looking. There's very large blank areas in here that look too abrupt. If you zoom in, you can see it more closely. So you don't want this patchy looking grass. We can fix this by adding some blur to the matte. So select the matte and go up to Effects, and under Blur Sharpen, we'll select our Fast Blur. It's on the submenu off screen, but it's about towards the middle of it. And let's increase the blurriness of this Fast Blur to 25. As you can see, that eliminates the patchy grass problem and gives us a much nicer looking result. So there we have it. Turn with it before and after. So our fall scene is coming along nicely. You've learned how to adjust colors by using adjustment layers and a matte. In the next lesson, we're going to paint some leaf layers in Photoshop.